Boston has experienced a little bit of a crime wave in the last couple of days. These incidents seem to be happening in broad daylight in places that a lot of people go frequently. And it makes me wonder, is Boston still safe? Is it still okay to live here? Okay, so before we get too far into this video, let's talk about what happened. I don't know if you can hear that. There's a police siren outside right now. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Okay, so the first thing that happened was there was an incident at the South Station. That is the biggest train station that's in Boston. It's right over by the Seaport District, actually, just right across the harbor. So it's a little ways from here, but it was a very publicized incident. Obviously, it happened at like 5:30 in the afternoon. Yeah, so right during the afternoon rush hour, which is really unfortunate. That means that that train station was incredibly busy. There's thousands of people that go through there every single day. I don't know if it doesn't say how many people go through there, but it's a massive place. And so for that to happen at 5:30 in the evening is pretty crazy. It's pretty brazen that something like that would happen, and it's not common. I wouldn't say that it's normal. There's a lot that happens at South Station because there's so many people there, and because there's so many people that go through there every single day too. South Station is not just the regular T, which is the regular subway. There are multiple lines that cross there, so there's a lot of activity there. The red line, the silver line, which is really more of a bus line. It's kind of like a bus train hybrid. And then there's a commuter rail station there too. So there's tons of commuter rail trains. Those are bigger trains that are above ground that go farther. They go all the way to Providence, Rhode Island from there. And then there's also Amtrak there too. So there's a bunch of Amtrak stations. The South Station is the northern terminal for, they stop or they start at South Station and then go all the way to Washington, D.C. So there's a lot of activity there, and now there's an apartment tower that's on top of it that's like the Ritz-Carlton or something. They just built it. It was just finished maybe last year, maybe 2 years ago. It hasn't been there very long. So that's the first thing that happened. And that was at the South Station. Then there was something that happened right outside of my apartment building. They say North Station. It wasn't actually at the North Station. It was at the Dunkin' Donuts that is across the street from the North Station. And this one made even CBS News. So I think it's important to say, from what I heard, the thing that happened at the South Station was they called it an isolated incident. These people knew each other. This one that happened here just outside of my building was domestic related. So they said it was a man and his wife that got into an argument, and I guess they injured each other, which is, unfortunate for them. I think that context is important when you're talking about safety, because obviously you're going to have domestic violence no matter where you are. And it's unfortunate that it happens in the street in front of Dunkin', but not everybody's classy. Some people fight wherever they're at. And unfortunately for this guy, it says that there were two people that were injured, which is true. But what happened was the man injured his wife and then he injured himself. So the threat was really only just the one person. So then on top of that, there was also somebody that was found unconscious in the parking garage that I park in every single day. In fact, the poor man was unconscious when I came home. I didn't see him or anything. I have no idea where they found him. I read a couple of the articles and I don't think it's specified where they found him. But that's right around the time that I come home every day. So yeah, that was shocking and terrifying and made me rethink the whole "do I feel safe here" thing. That's the kind of stuff that I thought might happen inside of a garage in a downtown area. Not this particular one, because this one has people in there all the time. You see, I don't know if you would call them security guards. I would say more like maintenance workers. Maybe they're kind of a combination of both, but you see them around all the time. And there's a lot of people that walk around just because there's people that work in the Verizon tower that's also attached to TD Garden. It seems like they all park there. The parking garage is full of cars in the morning, and then it like empties out, and then there's events, so then it fills back up again. So there's tons of people around all the time. I talked to a couple of people that live around here and have lived here for a while, and I guess it's not unusual for things like this to happen. Unfortunately, there are some people that live in the breezeway that's just outside of my window over here, actually. It's kind of between TD Garden and there's a passport office, a government building that's just there on the same block. And there are some people that live there. I don't know exactly how to say it. They're not the friendliest people. It seems like they have substance abuse problems. And unfortunately, I know what that looks like because I've seen that up close and personal. There's some people that I am pretty close to that have struggled with those issues, and so I've seen it. I know what it looks like. It's not hard to identify once you've seen it in the past. There are multiple ways to treat those sorts of issues, and good, bad, or ugly, the city of Boston has chosen to treat them with, they call it treatment, but it's really, they hand out prescription medication that sort of mimics the stuff that they get on the street. And there's a free clinic that hands out that stuff that's right across the street. There are multiple of them around Boston. And so anytime you have those types of clinics that are passing out those types of substances, then you have people that just hang out and waiting for their daily fix. I don't know if those people are dangerous. I think that they could be in the right circumstances. I try to be very aware every time I walk through there. There's a coffee shop back there that I really like. It's at the back of the breezeway over there. That's a really good coffee shop. But you have to be careful when you're walking back there. So apparently the word on the street is the person that was found unconscious in the parking garage was somebody who had a substance abuse problem. So again, another isolated incident. And unfortunately, it seems like there's a lot of isolated incidents, but that's what we have. That's what we're dealing with right now. I think it's important to address this question, is it really safe? Especially when this kind of stuff is happening. And it seems like it happens a lot. So the next thing that we have to look at is, what do you consider safe? For me, I grew up in the Midwest. In fact, basically in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. We were like 45 to 60 minutes outside of town. So there was hardly anything that went on out there. So when I moved to Boston, safety was one of the first things that I was thinking about. When I first came here, I stayed in Airbnbs for a while. I'm not really suggesting that, nor am I telling you what you should do. I'm just telling you what I did. I was in a position where I didn't have money to rent a place right away, and I'm actually glad that I didn't, because I rented Airbnbs for, I think it was about 6 weeks. I think it was at least 4 weeks. If I remember correctly, it was closer to 6. And what I did was, instead of staying in one place, I stayed in different neighborhoods all around the city. So I stayed in Milton for a while, which is south of Boston, and then I stayed in Medford, and in Everett, and in Alston. So kind of south, and then north, and then east, or west, west. And it really helped me to see different neighborhoods, and it helped me to see how I might get to work as well, because when I moved here I didn't have a car, so I was riding the T, or the subway, all the time. And then I was asking people too that I worked with, where do you live? What do you like about it? Do you suggest that people live there? Do you feel safe? All these different things. So what I ended up doing is taking the T to a bunch of different places and looking at apartments all around the city. And the one that I liked the most was in Braintree. Braintree to me feels a lot like where I grew up. It's not rural in any sense of the word, but it is middle class. It's a lot nicer and newer, and there's a Whole Foods. In fact, I think there's 2 Well, I think one of them technically has a Hingham address, but they're very close to each other. And there's a couple of different Starbucks there. There's like an outdoor shopping mall that was super nice. So, and then later on there ended up being a Tate, which is one of my favorite coffee places. So it was just a really nice place, and I really loved the area. Everybody that I met was super nice. And then I found my hairstylist there, and I still go back to Braintree because I absolutely love my hairstylist. Safety is always the first thing that I think about when I'm looking at apartments and when I'm looking for a place to stay. I've traveled all around the United States. I used to work for a management company that managed professional athletes. So I've been to Los Angeles, Miami, Chicago, Dallas, New York, all the big cities in the United States, basically. Pretty much. There's only a couple I haven't been to. One of the reasons that I love Boston is because it does feel safe. Even with some of these incidents that happen, I still feel like I can walk down the street in downtown and be relatively safe. Obviously, I would never say that it's 100% safe. We have evidence. There are things that happen. As long as you are reasonable, you're staying aware of who's around you and what's going on, I don't feel unsafe. I'm always hyper vigilant. I'm always looking around. I'm not somebody who's going to walk around at nighttime by myself. I do the best that I can to take care of myself and to make sure that I put myself in good situations. And then I just accept the risk, because no matter where you live, there's going to be some kind of risk. Even if you live way out in the middle of nowhere, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get hit by a car or a meteor or have an aneurysm or some other issue. There's nothing that you can ever do to be 100% safe. So for me, from my perspective, from living in downtown Boston for almost a year now, I feel safer than I have in any city that I've been in. I really love Boston. It's such a beautiful, amazing city, and I wouldn't choose to live anywhere else. I love the ocean. I love the architecture. I love the restaurants and all the history that's here. I really wouldn't trade it for anything. Honestly, I think it's an amazing place. And I'm so happy that I get to live here, to be right in the heart of downtown. I'm really looking forward to moving into my new apartment and to staying here for a whole nother year. So let me know in the comments, do you think that Boston is safe? And let me know, do you live here? Do you live out of state? Have you traveled here? Let me know what you think. I really want to hear your opinion. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I really appreciate you. If you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe so you can see more content like this, and make sure that you like the video and hype it too. It's some new thing. I guess it's a button down by like. It really helps my videos, and it helps me out a lot if you would do that. If you're interested in seeing more content from me, weekly videos, plus early videos and other exclusive videos, there's over 30 exclusive videos. Check out my Inner Circle membership. Again, thank you for watching. I really appreciate you, and I will see you again next week.